So today, we're going to dive into two core elements of the International Baccalaureate's Primary Years Program, or PYP for short. We're going to break down how this whole framework connects the skills students learn with the character they build. And that combination, it's all about getting them ready for a future that, let's be honest, is looking more unpredictable every day.
And really, this is the question driving education today, isn't it? I mean, with AI evolving at lightning speed and the job market totally shifting, we all know that just memorizing facts isn't going to cut it anymore. The real trick is to equip students with tools that are timeless, adaptable, and ready for whatever the world throws at them.
And here is the IB's answer, beautifully laid out in this diagram. The PYP framework is all about being holistic. It's about nurturing the whole child. Now, if you look closely at those inner rings, we're going to zoom in on two key parts today: the approaches to learning, which are basically the skills, and the IB learner profile, which is all about character.
All right, so first up, let's tackle the how of learning. These are called the approaches to learning skills, or you'll often hear them called ATL skills. You can pretty much think of these as the essential toolkit every single student needs in their back pocket. So what are they exactly? Well, to put it simply, ATL skills are those foundational abilities that let students learn, well, anything. And the key word here, the one I really want you to remember, is transferable. These skills aren't just for passing a history test. They are the practical, real-world tools you're going to use for your entire life, whether you're picking up a new instrument, starting a new job, or even learning to cook. So the IB groups these skills into 5 main buckets. You've got your thinking skills. That's all about solving problems and being creative. Communication skills, so you can share your ideas and, just as important, actually listen to others. Then you have social skills for working together, self-management for staying organized and bouncing back from setbacks, and of course, research skills for digging in and figuring things out for yourself.
And this is so important to get. These skills are not just stuck in the classroom, not at all. They're in play all the time in our everyday lives. And when you realize that, you see just how valuable they are. Let me show you with a super simple example.
Think about it. You're hosting a dinner party. You're using your thinking skills to figure out a menu that works for your vegan cousin and your friend who's allergic to nuts. You're using self-management skills to stick to a budget and get all the food on the table at the same time. Communication? That's you trying to follow a complicated recipe or asking a guest to help chop some onions. And the social skills? Well, that's the whole point, right? Making everyone feel welcome. See? Life skills, plain and simple. Okay, so we've got the practical how of learning covered. Now let's shift gears and talk about the who, as in who is the person this program is trying to help create. This is where the IB learner profile comes into the picture.
Now, this is a really important distinction. The learner profile is not a checklist of skills you have to master. Instead, it's a set of 10 dispositions. You can think of them as character traits. It's kind of like the blueprint for developing an internationally minded person, someone who can walk through our complex world with empathy, integrity, and a whole lot of curiosity.
And here they are, all 10 of them. It's got things like being an inquirer, being curious and wanting to solve problems, or being caring, which is all about trying to make a positive difference in the world. And then there's being a risk taker, someone who isn't afraid of change. Just take a second to scan the rest. Altogether, these traits form the very heart of the PYP's vision for who students can become. All right, so we have the skills, the approaches to learning, and we have the character, the learner profile. But now we get to the most powerful part, understanding why these two absolutely have to go together. This right here is where the real magic happens. This slide just nails it. The skills, the ATL, give a student the ability to do something. That's the knowing how part. But the character traits from the learner profile, those give a student the willingness to actually use that ability. That's the being ready part. And really, one without the other is just incomplete. The learning researcher Guy Claxton put it perfectly. He said, "It is not much use being if you are not also ready and willing." You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not willing to step up and use it when it counts, what good is it? The skill just sits there. And here is probably the best analogy ever. Think about it. You could read every fitness book, watch every YouTube video, and know every single exercise for getting six-pack abs. You have the ability, but unless you have the self-management and the principled discipline, the willingness to actually get to the gym and eat right, day after day, well, those abs are just going to stay an idea, right? So, when you bring these two things together, when you connect those practical skills with those strong character dispositions, you are basically giving students a superpower. It's the magic combination that turns knowing how into actually doing. It's what transforms knowledge into real-world action and genuine impact.
And that leaves all of us with one last, really crucial question to think about. Whether we're educators or parents, we have to ask ourselves, are we just teaching skills? Are we just giving them the how? Or are we also building the character, the curiosity, the courage, the will to actually use those skills? Because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.